Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday and welcome to the Easy Like Sunday Morning podcast. I am your host, Charles Watson. We are starting 1 minute early today, but that's okay. We'll give people enough time to jump in. Let me turn this music down. That way we don't have any copyright violations. Marco, good morning. Happy Sunday, brother. Tia, good morning. Happy Sunday, brother. Tia will be fielding any questions, comments, or concerns that you guys may have during the live broadcast. Cliff, good morning. See everybody starting to jump in. So good morning. Welcome to the Easy Like Sunday Morning podcast. It is Sunday, October 28th. Hope everybody's getting ready for Halloween. I know we're excited. It's always funny how cosplayers never have anything to wear for Halloween. I find that funny. I actually don't know if we're doing anything for Halloween. Probably not. We're old. That's what happens. Well, let's jump into the content. We got a lot of content today. We have a lot to go over. Today we are talking strategies, kind of a continuation from last week. And today we're going to talk to you about why you need a brand strategy to build your audience. And like always, you could check out inspiration and content for the podcast in our show notes. You could check out all the books that I'm currently reading, listening to on Audible in the book club links down there. Barbara, good morning. Cliff, good morning. So let's get started. So why you need a brand strategy to build your audience. So as creators, as business owners, as entrepreneurs, we've got a great product or service, right? Something that you've worked really hard on, invested all your time and energy in making it awesome. You own it. It's your baby. You are ready to push it out into the world. It's something that people are going to love. There's only one problem. The problem is that people don't know you and they don't know what kind of products you're offering, right? I mean, that's how we started off. I think that's how everybody starts. Everybody starts at zero. Everyone believes in their product wholeheartedly, stands behind it 100%. Everyone thinks that their product is going to change the world. I think that's why we become creators to begin with, is that we feel like people need to hear our message. I know I do, and that my message can make a difference in people's lives. Our message, especially financially, grow your independence, live life more on your own terms. Anthony, good morning. So everyone has this message, but no one knows who you are. And I'm gonna be honest with you, unless you're a true innovator, you're probably creating something that someone before you has already created, and that's okay, you know. But the question is how do you package, position, and spread your message? And that's branding. It's called branding, and branding is more than just a logo. I know that we've talked about this before. 8-Bit in the house. Good morning, John. Good morning. These are great photographers. If you're a cosplayer and you need composite photography done, hook up with 8-Bit Fusion Graphics. I believe they're going to be at a convention in December at Hallmat, so make sure you book your photo shoots with them. They do amazing work. If they can make me look good, they can work miracles for you guys. So good morning. So branding, let's get back on let's get back on topic. So what is branding? Branding is more than a logo. It's more than a logo. It's more than a slogan or a design scheme. It's more than that. Branding is about not only just offering a product or a service, but branding really encompasses the experience. What kind of experience are your customers? What kind of experience are your followers? What kind of experience are your potential clients going to have when they engage with you and your product? Like I said, branding is something more than just the features of your product. It's something more intangible, but also more powerful. Branding is how you make people feel when they interact with your product. And let's look at some examples here. Think Apple. for a moment. You know, Apple sells personal computers, Apple sells phones, Apple sells music devices, and we know that. But how, when you hear Apple, how does that make you feel? For a lot of people, it makes them feel cool. It makes you feel sophisticated. It makes you feel innovative, creative, right? I mean, what's the first thing that all these music people and these composers and these you know, these graphic designers, right? What's the first thing they ask when, as a tech guy, you know, I always love to ask what kind of machine they use, and you know, they always say, "Oh, well, I use a Mac." What do you use? Oh, well, I use a PC. Oh, yeah, PC is so, you know, so Apple has that brand identity, right? Apple has done an incredible job at making you feel like you are creative, innovative, a step above the rest when you use their products. And let's look at BMW. This is a brand that I can personally relate to, and it's true. BMW, they sell cars, but what do people think when they think about BMW, right? I mean, they think luxurious, classy, high performance. It's German engineering, right? What is BMW's? The ultimate driving machine, right? The ultimate driving machine. Good morning, Robert. Thanks for joining us. So branding is super important. And why does it matter? I'm going to break it down for you right now. Every time you pick up, let's say, like a branded can of soda, right? In preference to like the store brand. So like you go to Walmart, you buy Coke versus Sam's Choice. Well, you buy Pepsi over Coke. That's branding in action. You are programmed mentally to crave that brand. You are programmed mentally to pick up that brand. Dr. Doom, good morning. BMW, I think people who can't drive. That is true. Sometimes, I mean, where I live, nobody can drive. Anyway, so every time you pick a major brand product, you are witnessing and you are experiencing branding in action. In fact, scientists have conducted a study, and this is really interesting, where subjects' brains were monitored while they were given Coke and Pepsi in like a blind taste test. When they were not told what brand they were drinking, their brain activity showed that the majority of the people tested preferred Pepsi. But when the same people were told what brand they were drinking, the brain actively showed a preference for Coke. That's crazy. The subject had such a strong brand identity and tied to the brand that Coke actually, just the mention of the word Coke overrode what their taste buds were telling them. And then when they realized that it was Pepsi, they immediately were like, no, I don't like this. I want my Coke. You know, Coke is it. That's another branding slogan, right? So branding is super powerful. And how can branding work for you? I mean, we're not all selling sodas. We're not peddling candy. You know, how does branding work for us? You might be selling, you know, consultant services. You might have handcrafted artwork, like our good friend over there, JB Designs, Josh Bauer Art, like 8-Bit Fusion Graphics. I mean, they're more on the creative side. But I want you to know that whatever industry you're in, you are communicating with your audience. You're communicating to build engagement, and you're communicating to win trust. You're communicating to form a relationship that you hope eventually will lead to a sale, right? I mean, that's the end goal. We're all creatives. We all love sharing our message. But at the end of the day, we're all doing this because we're passionate about doing it, and we would love to do our passions as a full-time hobby. Am I right? Absolutely. I mean, 40-hour work week is pretty crazy. If I could work, you know, doing my passion, I'd be a lot happier. And I think you guys feel the same way. So we're all trying to get there. So whatever you're doing, branding is important. Branding is about conveying your core values. What do you value as a brand with every single communication with your audience? Your branding should be present in everything you say and everything you do. And like my good buddy Chris last week mentioned on one of our polls, your branding needs to be intentional, and you need a strategy, and it needs to be relentless, and it needs to be executed. Jose, good morning. So what are 5 key elements to an effective brand strategy? So all this was the setup. Now we're going to give you 5 tips for effective brand strategies that you can put into practice right now. So if you want your brand to make a lasting impression on your audience, you're going to need to incorporate the following 5 elements in your brand strategy. And we've touched on these, but number 1, let's go through it. Number 1 is know your audience. You got to know who you're marketing to. In past podcasts, we have talked about this. We call it your avatar. You need to create an avatar, and not like the movie. You need to create a person, a real person. Daniel, good morning. Derek, good morning. You need to create a avatar, a digital or a mental person that you are marketing to, and you have to be specific. Who's your target audience? Is it men? Is it women? Are they blue collar? Are they white collar? What are their habits? Do they have families? Do they play video games? Do they hang out at art galleries? You have to know your target audience. A lot of people think they know their audience and run their business on the basics, on the basis of assumptions. I mean, you need to put your assumptions aside. You need to roll up your sleeves and you need to get your hands dirty. And I said this in the Experts Academy podcast, or the video that we just posted. You got to get your hands dirty. You got to get in the comments and you got to engage in your audience. Thank you, Derek. I appreciate it. I hope all is well. I've been following your hot dog business, and it looks like it's doing well. Congratulations with that. The best way to engage with your audience is to ask them directly. I mean, we've got all these social media platforms, right? We've got Facebook, we've got YouTube, we've got Twitter. Not so much YouTube, but you got Facebook, you got Twitter, you got Instagram. These are all platforms that allow you direct, immediate, one-on-one contact with your target audience. So get out there, ask some questions, take some polls. I do it on my personal page all the time. Hey, what are some difficulties that you guys are struggling with as an entrepreneur? What one thing could double your results in for the rest of the year? What strategies are you forecasting for 2019? Are you positioned right now to take full control of Black Friday coming up? You know, Black Friday is coming up. Anyone that sells products, artwork, Josh Bauer, I'm talking to you. 8-Bit, I'm talking to you. Cliff from Pound the Grape, I'm talking to you. David from InfinityCon, selling tickets, promoting your convention, I'm talking to you. Sean from Sci-Fi Barto, I'm talking to you. Are you guys ready? Are you ready to capitalize on Black Friday? What are you doing to get ready for that? The biggest retail day of the year, and Cyber Monday. What are you guys doing to get ready? Let me know in the comments. I want to know what products you're going to put on sale. I want to know what kind of things you're going to offer your community, what kind of things you're going to offer your audience for Black Friday. Super important. All right. So you got to know your audience, and you have this incredible platform to directly engage with your audience. So engage with your audience. People follow you because they like you. They follow you because of your personality. They follow you because you're a great guy. They follow you because you're a great gal. You know, they don't follow you. There's millions of people. They follow you because of you. They want to hear from you. Get your hands dirty. Get in the comments. Don't be holier than thou. Communicate with your audience. The next thing you want to do, and the best number 2 strategy, is you want to make a clear promise. Like, just understanding your audience isn't enough. You need to make a commitment to them. You know, and I've said this before, if you want people to invest in you, you have to invest in them. It's the same premise right here. Gary Vaynerchuk, the thank you economy, right? The thank you economy, about it's no longer do we live in a marketplace, no longer do we live in an economy where you can ask, you ask and you shall receive. You know what I mean? Now, the new economy and the thank you economy and the way things are working is give and then you receive. You give value first, right? You add value to people's lives. You offer something of value first. You invest in your audience first. And then for doing so, your audience turns around and invests back in you. So you got to make a clear promise. You know, your promise is the rock on which your brand is built. It's what makes you more than someone offering a product. It encapsulates, like I said, a set of values, a belief system, and a desire to improve the lives of your audience. Everything that we were talking about. You can make your promise explicit by stating it in plain English. You can make your promise implicit in the way that you do what you do. Better yet, do both. Just do both. So there you go. Make a clear promise and stick to it. I mean, one of the huge things is you want to build trustworthiness. You want to build brand loyalty. You want to be loyal to your audience, and you want your audience to be loyal to you. Deso, good morning. Tarek, good morning. Shelly, good morning. All right. So there you go. Let me just check here. Know your audience. All right. Oh, here we go. Number 3. Sorry, I a little too soon. Here we go. Number 3 is have a unique proposition. Now, if you have a product or a service that no one else is offering, I mean, that's awesome. You hit it out of the ballpark. And I know that there are a couple people that do that. The Kitchen Killers, for example. Nobody's been touring kitchens on a musical world tour whirlwind. Yes, everyone plays music. Yes, there are musicians all over the place, but you can see how they have a unique proposition. We are musicians, we're good, we're skilled, and you know what? We're gonna play in your kitchen and we're gonna feed you too. Who does that? They found a unique proposition. That's a great example. So find a unique proposition, all right? Even if you're surrounded, like I said, by a sea of competitors selling a similar product, you can find something different. What is it that you do different? Most of the time, people start up a business, people get into business because something that they're interested in, they just feel like nobody's doing it the way that they would. You know what I mean? Hey, I can do this better. I think I can do this better. You know, I think I can provide programming to conventions better than what's out there right now. I think that I can offer marketing advice, social media advice better than what's out there right now. I think I can do, you know, cosplay composites better than what's out there right now. Different is better than better. And that's a great quote. So you definitely want to bring something unique, and you definitely want to bring something different to the table. You got to give your audience a reason to come back. You got to give your customers a reason to buy from you. All right. So that is a unique proposition. So I hope you guys are seeing this. And the number 4 tip is you need to appeal to the emotions. Emotions play an extremely powerful part in decision making. From the teenage child to the hardened CEO, we are all swayed by our emotions. And that's true. I mean, how many times have you gone to a restaurant or you've gone to a store and the customer service was terrible? Your experience was terrible. You automatically associate a ill will, and you automatically associate disgust with that brand. And then that influences you to probably never do business at that location or to never do business with that brand again. I know I am, you know, I work really hard for my money. I mean, we got 2 40-hour jobs. We're trying to do this. I don't have time for that. You know, I work my ass off for money. So does Tia. And we want to spend it where we know we're appreciated. We want to spend it where we have a good experience. So there you go. The 5th tip is be consistent. And this is so important. And I just talked about this on Expert Influencer Academy. We just released our first video, and this was a tip for growing your social media audiences. You got to be consistent. You got to remember that branding is something that builds slowly over time. As you gain exposure, you start to imprint your brand in the minds of your audience. If you do it right, your name will be the first that pops up whenever they're thinking about your industry. And that is true. I mean, if I say fast food cheeseburgers, I automatically think McDonald's without hesitation. You might think Whataburger, you might think Burger King. Everyone's different, which shows you that there's room for more, right? There's room for more. But you got to be consistent. You got to communicate on a regular basis. I said this earlier in the other video, is you have to think of your branding. You have to think of your business. You have to think of your social media presence as a show on a cable TV network. You need to show up to work, and you need to post that content at a certain schedule every day. Great example is the Easy Like Sunday Morning podcast. This podcast right here. As my audience, you know that Sunday at 9 a.m. it is time to go live. The show is on, and I am dedicated to you guys, and I do that every Sunday, and you guys are dedicated to me for tuning in every Sunday. And that's what being consistent is all about. Kitchen Killers, they do live broadcasts on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We've come to know that for over a year. So Monday night, Wednesday night, Friday night, when my phone starts going crazy with like 83 notifications, no lie, I know that it's time for the Kitchen Killers. Like, I don't even have to look anymore. It's subliminal, you know? So I just jump on, share their stuff, things like that. But that, man, that is like Pavlov's dog, right? You ring the bell, dog salivates, is hungry. They have done an incredible, Shelley Wheeler, Billy Floyd, and the Commodore have done an incredible job at being consistent and building their brand identity, you know? And now, I mean, the key is you got to go out there and you got to create your own brand identity. Yeah, I mean, now that we've shown you, and I've shown you how branding can work for your business, you need to start thinking about how you can create your own brand identity. I mean, this is what branding agencies do. And honestly, I mean, these branding agencies, they charge tens of thousands of dollars to help you create and develop your brand. I mean, dollars, it's crazy. So I want to share with you, I want to share with you 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to share with you 5 quick tips, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. But I want to share with you 5 quick tips that you can do right now to start building a strong brand identity. You could start thinking about building a brand identity. And these are 5 ways to get you started. Okay, so step number 1 is you want to conduct a thorough brand audit. You need to determine where you stand in the marketplace and to understand who your customer is. To do this, you got to uncover what's most important for driving growth. You know, and let me put it in layman's terms here. Talk to your audience, okay? If you're an artist, Josh, you need to get out there and you need to ask your audience, hey, what characters do you want me to paint? Anthony, as a photographer, you know, you need to ask your audience, what kind of composites would you like to see? We live in the information age where we can communicate with the entire world at the click of a button, at the push of a button. We need to be engaging. This is a terrible mistake that has developed in social media practices, and especially in branding, and especially in the entrepreneur world. It is a terrible injustice of people not communicating directly with their audience. You are not that big. You are not so awesome that you cannot communicate with your audience. All that's going to happen there is you're going to lose touch. You're going to come out of place, and someone that is doing the practices and the industry best practices, someone that is doing that is going to come in here and it's going to replace you, you know? So you got to communicate, conduct a thorough brand audit, get in there, ask your audience what they want to see. I mean, they're going to tell you what they want to buy. Why is this such a mystery? What's going on? It's not rocket science. It's simple. It's common sense, but not so much common practice. Get in there. Number 2 is establish your unique value proposition and messaging statements. Like we talked about earlier, what is your proposition? How are you different? What are you doing in your market that is that's different than everybody else, you know. Kitchen killers, they play in a kitchen. That's totally different. That's totally different. They just blew it out of the water. They just blew it out of the water. Okay, crazy. We do live one-on-one broadcasts. We bring you. I think what differentiates us in the market is that I bring you tips and strategies that I am applying right now. Like, I'm spending thousands of dollars in training and in books and consuming all this information. I am putting it into play. I am putting it into practice. And then I'm flipping it around as fast as I can. I'm trying to get it out to you guys so that you guys can come along. And I think that's something unique, is that we offer real-time brand building. We do it together. My goal is for us to build a community so that we all arrive at the destination at the same time. I think that's awesome. It's like it's like entrepreneurship reality TV show. Hey, that's an idea. Not the one that idiot was on. You know who I'm talking about. You're fine. You know, anyway. All right. So number 3 is you want to develop your brand's creative elements. You want to create the look, the feel, the voice, and the brand that will be carried through all your marketing channels. I think the question was asked, how can a logo help your brand? That logo has to be extremely recognizable. I mean, look at Coke, look at Pepsi, Chick-fil-A. With our brands, Florida Con Artists, we've had the same logo for 5 years now. Expert Influencer Academy, Even Dishes and Stitches, Kitchen Killers. Your logo is your public face, and you want that logo plastered on everything because you want to create that connection with your audience when subliminally, I mean, they automatically see your logo. They know who it is. You check out that helmet right there. That's not Captain America. You know that's Iron Man. That's branding. That's logo. All right? So just keep that in mind. You got to create those creative elements. Good morning, Nicole Labina. Good morning. What is your message going to be? What's the tone going to be? Are you going to be angry all the time? Are you going to be like a Gary Vaynerchuk? Are you going to be smooth and calming like a Dr. Phil? These are all things that you need to figure out. Step number 4 is implement strategies to establish brand identity. Remember that brand identity is built over time. You got to implement the strategies that we shared with earlier to help grow your brand awareness and strengthen the brand. By doing everything that we've talked about, it builds robust social media presence using all the appropriate channels to communicate directly with your desired target audience. And finally, number 5, the last step in getting you started in building your brand identity is analyze and refine your brand identity. As a information technology, as a computer network engineer, I love data. I love analytics. I read it like a book, but I am in there. I am trying to figure out what is working. If it's working, great. And I know that sounds backwards, but I think you really got to look at it like that. Like, if something's working, I really don't pay attention to it. I'm like, oh, hey, that worked. All right, sweet. I got that in my arsenal. I know that I can do that in the future. You know, future proofs past. I know that can work. I'm just going to dismiss that. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for the things that didn't work. I'm looking for the failures. I'm looking for the low engagement. I'm looking for the low turnaround. I want to know what doesn't work, because like they say, that which gets measured can get improved. And you really got to get your hands dirty, and you really got to look under the hood. And if you're successful, great. I mean, that is the end result. I'm not going to dismiss success. We are all pushing for that. That is the end goal. But if something's successful, you already know it works. It really doesn't need your attention. You got to pay attention to the things that aren't working, and you got to refine those. You got to try something different. You got to come at it at another angle. Maybe ask a professional or a mentor or someone else, get a third-party perspective on a situation. That always helps. It always helps to take a step back. So you really got to keep your pulse, your finger on the pulse of your business. You gotta be involved. You gotta do the work. You gotta be involved. You can't hand it off. You're not Rockefeller. We're not, we're not the Facebook dude, whatever that dude's name, I forgot, Zuckerberg. We're not him. We don't have a staff of 36 people. We're not slave drivers. We're entrepreneurs. We're doing it ourselves. We're hustling ourselves. You got to get in there and you got to know your business. And that's how you gain that experience. That's how you grow, is you learn your business. You really do learn your business from the ground up. And when you learn everything from the ground up and you don't have to depend on anybody to run your business, then you truly have an understanding of how branding and how social marketing and how your business works. And that's when you can turn around and reach behind you and help others come up to curve that learning curve, you know? Well, guys, we are at the 30-minute mark. Thank you so much for checking it out. I got some news. We will be archiving the Easy Like Sunday Morning podcast under our new YouTube channel, Expert Influencer Academy. We have a website up, expertinfluenceracademy.com. If you want to stop by, check it out. If you sign up for our mailing list, we give you a free guide on how to conduct interviews with people. One of the quickest ways to grow your brand and one of the quickest ways to maximize your reach is by interviewing other influencers, interviewing other experts in your niche, and then posting that to your social media sites, because not only do you add value to your audience, but a lot of times the person that you collaborate with will also share that and will blast you to their audience. And that's what you're looking for. And it's not obligatory. I want you to know that. I know, don't get upset if somebody doesn't share your stuff. They are not obligated to. Remember what I said in the new economy, the thank you economy. You got to do it first, you know? So if you reach out to somebody and you're like, hey, I really love your product. I really love your message. I think my audience would really benefit from it. And you share them first, you build that rapport. You know, because how many times when somebody blind messages you and instant messages you and says, hey Kevin, good morning. You know, hey, I'm so-and-so and I got a new, book coming out in 2 days, and I would really love it if you, blast this out to your entire audience, love, total stranger. Who's this guy? Who are you? Get out of here. You know what I mean? That's the wrong, just the wrong avenue to take. So food for thought. That's kind of like a bonus tip. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. I really appreciate it. Check out Expert Influencer Academy on our YouTube channel. We are going to start uploading the Easy Like Sunday Morning podcast there by popular demand. I've had a couple people ask if they could get it other places. So we're going to take care of that for you guys. Ask and you shall receive. Thanks for joining. I hope you guys have a great Sunday. Don't forget to check out the links. This is a great book, by the way, The Thank You Economy by Gary Vaynerchuk. It really is. Buy yourself a copy. It's on Audible too, so you don't have to read the hard copy. I actually have both. I have the Audible file and I have the book. I'm crazy like that. I'm silly. They call me Rubberneck. You guys know where that's from? Let me know. All right, I'm out of here, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Be safe. And, I'm going to start saying this again. Go out, do good, be awesome. Yeah. All right.